The next one we're going to talk about, I call the 007. This is the guy who acts like he is some kind of covert spy for the government, or the Tinder profiles will always say they're in IT. It's very ambiguous. You don't really know what IT is. You have to talk to them to figure it out. Yeah, I met one of those. So this guy tells me that he works and does work for Northrop Grumman, for Harris. He works from home. He basically works out of a queue. He's got like 3 monitors, and he works like that where the jobs are coming in and he's getting requests to write coding, and he's unbelievably smart and brilliant apparently. Okay. So we're texting, and we're texting a lot. It's like a book, really. And you know, the annoying texts that no one really likes. But anyway, so he gave me his phone number, and I was texting his phone number, and we decide we're going to meet. And he says to me, "Where would you like to meet?" He says, "'Cause I'd like to go to Outback." And I'm like, Outback? I haven't been to Outback since I think probably the 90s. I don't even know how that place is still in business, honestly. People must really like Bloomin' Onions is all I can say. So I decided to be like a smart ass, honestly. And I said, you know, Outback, why Outback? Like there's salsas, there's Irish 21, there's Cafe Panuzzo's. I mean, there's all these local places we could go to. I'm just not sure why. Or we could go to Outback. He writes back, Outback. So I write him back. Do you have a coupon? Do you know the manager? Are you addicted to blooming onions? Aye. Crikey. So he's like, I just want to go and have a steak, I guess. All right, fine. We're supposed to meet at 6:30. Everyone is involved in this date. My children are involved in this date. I'm like, oh, you know, this one's got a good job apparently. So let's see what this is all about. Daughter will help me pick out an outfit. Everyone's all involved. We're supposed to meet at 6:30 at Outback. 10 to 6, he texts me. Hey, I'm really sorry. I came out to DeBerry to visit with my dad. I'm on my way back. Just got a flat tire. Don't think I'm going to make 6:30. Let me text you when I'm on my way. Okay, fine. That's fine. No pressure, whatever. Okay, I'm ready now. I am ready to go out, and I now need to go out because my child has seen me get ready, and I don't care if you're not coming. I'm going. Now I got to go to Outback and see what it's all about. That's what I'm going to do. You're either with me or you're not. So 007, just know that. So about 6:15, I leave to go to Outback by myself. I figure I'm going to just sit at the bar and I'll eat dinner by myself. If he doesn't show up, I don't care. So I go to Outback and I'm sitting there, and he texts me again and he says, I'm on my way. I won't be there till probably 7. Okay, fine. So I'm thinking about it and I'm like, that was pretty quick. Changed a tire. God only knows where he was when it happened. Like, okay, whatever. 7 o'clock comes. He walks through the door. He has on this very potent old man smelling cologne. Y'all, I'm going to do a whole other video on colognes. I don't know when guys stopped wearing them, but if you want to get some action, get some freaking good cologne. Don't be using Old Spice or Soap on the Rope. That shit died with our fathers. You've got to get some good shit, okay? So I'm like, oh, you know, he smells pretty bad. He smells like, you know, he's wearing a really shitty cologne. And he immediately launches in while we're sitting waiting now, because he won't eat at the bar. He wants to eat at a table. And he launches into, I just came back from seeing my father. He's a real jerk. He's got anger management issues. I don't even know why I go over there to help him. He's a real hot mess. He's, you know, my mom died in May and now I'm dealing with him and he is a lot. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then my eyes drift down to his hands and there's not one bit of grease, dirt, nothing on his hands. And I'm like, he changed a tire and he doesn't have any grease on his hands. We live in Florida. He should be sweating and just gross by now. Everything was in place, like he was wearing hairspray. I'm like, I'm not getting that you changed a tire. So then he starts telling me, I think I changed that tire in like 12 minutes. I actually timed myself. So he opens his phone and it's our conversation in Bumble because I guess for some reason he was looking at my photos. I don't even know. Because at that point we were texting through regular phone number. This is kind of weird. So yeah, so 007 starts telling me all about his career, all about how his father doesn't believe the work that he does, that his father, you know, makes fun of him. Yeah, you didn't write that program. Something popped up on the news and he's like, Dad, I had a hand in that. And his dad's like, no, you didn't. So I'm listening to this and I'm like, this is a lot. I mean, I feel like I'm on a date with his dad, for God's sakes. What's going on here? Anyway, we continue to chat. We go out a second time. The second time we go out, he's at the restaurant before me and I show up and I'm standing on the steps of the restaurant and texting him like, where are you? And he's like, oh, I'll be right there. He parked all the way down, out of the way. Like you wouldn't even know where he parked. Later on, I'm like, that's kind of odd. Why would he park so far away, like from the restaurant and have to walk? That makes no sense, except for maybe he was looking for me to offer to give him a ride to his car, which I did not do. Okay, I don't know you. You're not getting in my car. That's it. So then I noticed like he's texting me stories or questions. I'm writing back and then he's not responding to those questions. And I'm like, the cadence is off on all of this stuff. Then I'm noticing he texts mostly at night, not during the day. I'm like, this is really kind of weird. So I had a really funny story happen. So I texted him this funny story. And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to call him. I call him and it goes right to Google voicemail. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? Within 2 minutes, I get a response. Hey, I'm working right now. I can't chat. Okay. 24 hours later, he responds to the funny story. Ha ha. And I'm like, where do you go? What are you doing? Like, nothing is adding up. Like, you ask me a question, I answer the question, then I don't hear from you for 24 hours. Then you're texting me at night. Now you got Google Voice. Like, what is Google Voice for? And he's like, oh, you know, I just want you to know that Google Voice is because my business, you know, I'm getting stuff from Harris, from Northrop Grumman, from the government. I'm getting all these different things coming into my queue that I've got to work and I've got tickets and I like to have Google Voice because all the phone numbers roll to the one number and I can text people all day long. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, huh. And he's like, yeah, I have a really hard time remembering a lot because I do date a lot. So I've also created a file on everybody. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I create a file on everybody. Like what their name is, what app I met them on, what their family stats are. Like, do they have 2 kids, 3 kids? You wouldn't believe how many times I've been out on a date. And I can't believe you have 9 kids. I don't have 9 kids. I only have 2 kids. So I've made like a file on everyone. I go, are you kidding? You make a file on people? He goes, I haven't made one on you yet, though. I haven't made one on you. Oh. So you keep disappearing. I still don't get it. Where are you going? Like, why do you stop responding? No answer. So then I wrote him back. Hey, not sure where you go. Not sure if you fell under a heavy dresser. Not sure if you're living in the Bermuda Triangle and you only get cell service every other day. However, this is getting old and I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but you have more flags than a carnival. My cousin from New Jersey told me to tell him he must have gotten his flags on sale because he has so many. So I told him that in the text. And my cousin wants to know if you're talking to her through Google Voice too, because she's got one of you on her line as well. And he said, yeah, you want a threesome? And I go, with the rate of texting? No, it's never gonna happen. So yeah, I broke up with 007. Shit happens. Oh, but he did come back at Thanksgiving to tell me I was a really cool chick and he enjoyed getting to know me and that he wishes me well. So hopefully his wife finds his Google Voice because I'm sure that's what's happening.